Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I'm really excited for the next 5 to 20 years. Well, maybe the next 5 years are gonna really not be cool. But after 5 years, so in 10 to 20 years, I feel like things are really gonna be, everything's gonna be in a better place, whether it be, socially, physically. I think we'll just be better off. And for one reason for that is because like organized religion is, I think, ultimately what has held us back for the longest time. Like boomers and stuff like that, they're much more religious than like people under 50. And because starting at 50 is about where the Gen X is. So boomers and stuff like that, they're in olders, they're just so quick to say, it's in God's hands. It's God's decision. It's God's plan. And there's just like this wishy-washy, like not my problem kind of vibe that they have towards, for lack of a better word, the greed that they have, been allowed basically all of their lives. Post-war, obviously, there's a boom in the economy, and there's a lot of people working, and then so you got a lot of tax money coming in, and so you got a lot of people just in charge of large sums of money, and then you got nepotism, and all the things that run off from that. But, now we're at, like I was saying yesterday, our 250th year as a country. And there's just no more fight in us. Like the fight, our last good fight, I don't even know if you can say it was, but, it was probably Iraq and stuff like that. But even then, no. Iraq was full of dudes who saw through the bullshit, especially while they were there, I guess in all the countries in that area, Afghanistan and such. And they just, even though there was a very, clear cultural and language barrier, they quickly saw, like, we are not here to make these people happier, freer, more abundant. Like, we are not that for them. And then of course before that, you had little skirmishes and stuff like that, but like the big one before that was Vietnam. And obviously, we've all seen, I guess probably not if you're 30 and under, but millennials and such, which for the most part, like, that's who I'm talking about. Because Gen Z and A, like, I'm sorry, like, they don't know anything. And I know that that's what was said about millennials. Like, you guys are so fucking stupid, so fucking optimistic for no fucking reason, and all this fucking bullshit. And, but like, no, we were a proper culture of people, right? We had music, we had dance, we had exuberance, we had beauty, we had just time. We knew, I think we were the last generation to know. Oh, am I going to start crying? Oh my God. We knew that there was a time and a place for everything. And now, starting with Gen Z, it's like they don't have decorum. They have no sense of right and wrong. They don't even know what, they don't know what, cents are. They don't know about a nickel. They don't know about a dime. They don't know about quarters. Like, they literally don't know. I've already seen multiple videos of people going to a store, paying with cash, coins, and knowing that they were expected like very easily $1 back or something like that. And the people just like, I don't, like, just like this weird, it's just, they don't know how to read or write cursive. They don't know how to tell time on a clock, you know, an analog clock or whatever. They don't know about they don't know about historical things. You know, history is obviously still happening. It's still happening, but Jesus Christ. But it's like, it's not like the good history. It's kind of like, I guess, kind of in a way, millennials and Hollywood. Like, we don't know about Hollywood. The Hollywood that of like the 50s and the 60s and even the 70s, like, that is Hollywood. That is celebrity culture. I will admit that we don't, as a millennial, we don't know anything really about celebrity culture. Like, the celebrity culture that we were, you know, inundated by, like, those are not real people. To They weren't really beautiful. Like, they were not really beautiful. And I think that's what's really important in a person that's like put on that level. It's like, you need to be actually fucking beautiful. You need to be actually fucking elegant and well spoken and talented. And I'm sorry, but like, that was, for us, that was the first thing that we lost, which luckily, thank God, because ultimately it's important, I think, for young people, culture in general, to have like people that are put on a pedestal to be thought of as like aspirational. But like, honestly, you know, if you're anybody in this world, you've met your hero. You've met a hero or two of yours. You know, whether it be in real life or like on a live stream, you know, or, you know, via their social media. And it's like, very quickly, like, it just, the notion of like, don't meet your heroes, like, it will totally like kill your buzz for them. It is so fucking true. Like, do not fucking meet your heroes. Ultimately, nobody is really better than a good person. And if you're a good person, you are the pinnacle. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, back to boomers and just like, why partly, largely, why I am like useful, very hopeful for the future. You hear all these, it's funny, you hear both sides. You hear like, it's amazing, or it's very apparent that like, religion is on the rise, and then other people say religion is on the decline. I'm going to say it's on the decline, and like, spiritualism is kind of more, you know, even if it's Christianity, it's like people are like looking at or receiving and practicing their Christianity and all that as much more spiritually surrounded, spiritually encapsulated, right? Like, Buddha, Jesus, like, they very specifically said, do not make like sculptures of me, do not worship me, like, just kind of go by what I said, and like, you know, practice what I preached, but don't, you know, don't make it about me, like, as a person. Like, I am not a deity, I'm not a god, I'm just a man out here doing my fucking best, and I kind of got a better idea of what that actually means. I think we all know that Jesus was an INFJ, so it totally makes sense because we just get it. But yeah, it's just so nice to see that religion is going down, because religion is just, it is such a fucking drag. It really does feel like I just watched this lecture on it. I'll see if I can find who the guy was, but like, he was comparing and contrasting it to like a parasite in the face, in the head of like apparently there's this little like bug thing that like goes into the head of a ant, and makes it commandeers the ant's head, and like makes it climb to the top of a grass, you know, a blade of grass, because it's trying to get the ant and itself, by proxy, eaten by a cow, so that it can go into the cow and like have a host. And that's just ultimately what I think, so it can keep living, and that's ultimately what religion is. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I just feel like religion makes people, historically has made people just naive and way too forgiving. And I think right now in the culture, you can see kind of, because of the difference in religious mindset, you can see it in the culture right now with two people, right? You have the Mackenzie Shirilla thing, you know, this little bitch cunt who killed her boyfriend and their friend in a car crash that very clearly was intentional. If you know, think otherwise, okay, but you obviously also know that you are in the minority, and quite honestly, I would wager that you're probably somebody of religious faith, like of, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you, for them, again, I feel like if this car crash happened 50 years ago, 40 years ago, even 30 years ago, this girl would be not only forgiven, but she would have, you know, intense public outcry that would help her, you know, get out of jail sooner. And then she would have like a raging modeling career or acting career to boot, right? Because that's just where the culture was 50, 40, 30 years ago. Today, the world is disgusted. The world is disgusted with that girl, not only that girl, but her family. And yeah, sure, a lot of it can be attributed to, you know, the technology that we have today. Like, she wouldn't have been so overexposed, like her personality and even like the black box of the car that proves that she, you know, had the gas pedal down to the floor the entire fucking time until the crash. But no, it's just, it's truly like, it's just because we now are less religious minded. We are much more spiritually aware of like people and, you know, things like narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy, and stuff like that. So yeah, I just love that, you know, that girl lives in this timeline and she's getting the treatment that she is getting now, because again, had it happened earlier when we were a much more religious type of people, the bitch would be forgiven and, you know, off to start a whole new life and, you know, have much more opportunity to ruin more people's lives. And another thing that makes me happy is partly because it's taking over her time in the spotlight. I cannot believe how big, you know, the emphasis is on, you know, the Netflix documentary and just the case in general. But now you have the Reckless Ben and his, you know, crusade to get this old man's Lego collection back. It's so cool because, I don't know, like, how would that have been taken? It just, people would, I feel like they wouldn't have fucking cared. They wouldn't have fucking cared 50, 40, 30, even 20 years ago. They wouldn't have fucking cared. They would have just been like, I don't know, much more dismissive of it. They would not have, they just wouldn't have, like, sided with the little guy. And especially, you know, with the fact that, you know, bricks and minifigs, I don't know if it itself, you know, by the people, the CEO and all the people that, I don't know who started the company. I don't know if they're Mormons or if it's just maybe like based in, you know, the Mormon state of Utah and stuff like that. I don't know. But people care. People care about this little guy. People care about justice. People care about, people are just outraged, you know, just like with the Sharilla thing. They're like, are outraged because they see the facts of the situation where it's like, you had ill intent, you don't fucking care, you're only looking out for yourself, and look what's happened to you, right? Like, Sharilla has lost her freedom, probably forever. And Bricks and Minifigs, like, they are no longer a company. I think somebody said, like, you fucking idiots, like, you killed a $5 million company or something like that. I can't remember, for you know, $200,000. Like, you guys are so fucking stupid. And just in general, you have a lot of people like Reckless Ben who are, and like that guy that looked into the Jewish communities that are all on welfare in like New York City and stuff like that. You have all these kids, Shirley, something like that. Maybe that's not him. Maybe that's the other guy. I can't remember. But just in general, like, people now, they're like, they're not scared by religion. You know, like, back in the day, people wouldn't fuck with the Mormon church. People wouldn't fuck with the Jews. People wouldn't question even Scientology. It's like, no, you know, you gotta just let live. And yeah, sure, for the most part, obviously, yeah, but like, you can't, that doesn't mean that you can allow them to do crimes, and, you know, hold up this shield of like, well, God, well, you know, aliens, whatever the Scientologists believe, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just really nice to see people just becoming more holistically spiritual and not just religious, right? Religious is just, it means, like, religious, I think, like, the root of it is to relegar or something like that, which is like to be relegated. Even the word Islam means to submit. Like, you have the 10 steps thing, the Alcoholics Anonymous thing. I can't remember how many steps there are. That's so crazy. That's so funny. 10 steps? Is it the 10 steps? I don't know. But, you know, step number 1 is to accept that you are powerless, like, to this addiction and stuff like that. It's just like, no, we're done as a collective, starting with the millennials, and yes, especially Gen Z. They are just not, they are not accepting God anymore as an excuse to not care about, you know, what your actual intent is and what the ramifications of your decisions are. And that's just such a beautiful thing. That's just such a beautiful thing, because it's going to bleed into questioning, you know, local and state and federal government people, if not entire institutions, because they're acting like they are God, and that, you know, what we do, whether they're looking or not, just like God, matters, right? They're using AI surveillance, just, you know, flock cameras and bullshit like that, to supervise us 24 hours a day. And it's just like, no, you don't get to fucking do that. You don't get to fucking do that, because historically speaking, it's very much a proven fact that, like, man, but especially policemen, and just men in power, they are very corrupt, and they are still just men, and they use, you know, flock cameras and surveillance cameras to, and their authority to bully people, to stalk people, you know, like their ex-wives and stuff like that, women they want to fucking date, women they want to fucking fuck, women they want to fucking kill. And we're just not gonna be so naive to the fact that man is the most dangerous animal on this planet, specifically the male, you know, or the male counterpart of the species. Yeah, it's like there's been so many basically all like serial killers, you know, when you invariably go down, you know, their storyline, you see all these scenarios wherein, you know, they could have been caught, but you know, and people could have been saved, victims could have been saved, but policemen took the victim right back, or took the perpetrator, the serial killers, the perpetrator's word, and said, you know, trusted what their description of the actual circumstances were. We see that with all of them. We see that with all of them. And yes, that does, you know, speak to the fact that a lot of people and a growing number of evidence piles prove that all serial killers, and many just killers in general, pedophiles especially also, are protected by people of in positions of power in communities are protected, because a lot of those people are perpetrators too. Um, I don't know. It's just, yeah. I'm just so tired. I'm so yeah. I'm tired. I have naivety fatigue, religious fatigue, and I'm so fucking happy that it's the time for you know, well, I didn't know, or I didn't think, or I I wouldn't think, I wouldn't, you know, I no. It's like, no, bitch, no, bitch. Um, your complicity, right? There's a very famous essay. It always pops up on my YouTube, but the title is like, you know, the real evil people are the normal people, because they're the ones that see the shit go down and they don't fucking do anything about it. And of course we have things, you know, specific things like the bystander effect and all this stuff, where yeah, it's overall like his our timeline, our culture is where it's at, because people are too scared to fucking say or do anything, because they don't want to be the odd man out, you know, the black sheep, so to speak. And you know, to wrap it up, you know, I'm gonna that's done, but just to wrap it up, in I'm not sure if this will tie in or not, but like I was thinking about this the other day, because like so we have goats, and but like everybody that we know, not everybody that we know, but a lot of the people that we know, they have sheep. And my boyfriend, he's so amazing. He hates sheep. He's like, they're fucking stupid. They're fucking dirty. Have you seen their tail that they're born with? It's disgusting. It's like dead. It doesn't, they can't, I don't know. I think they can probably shake it a little bit, but it's like this long. So it's like, it just gets matted with shit and, you know, debris and all this. It's crap. But like, goats are much more, yeah, they're a little bit more of a pain to keep, because they can get out, they can climb on damn near anything, and they're just a little more naughty, and sheep are not. And it's because sheep can't look up. Sheep can't, I don't know if they can't, but they do not look up, so they're not constantly getting out of places. They're not constantly looking for like, oh, I can jump off that and then alley oop off that and then fling my ass over that fence. You know, they don't, there's no thinking on that front. Goats, they are constantly looking up, if not just to like find, they love leaves, they love to forage. So I don't know, I would just say, like, even though the goat is associated with like Satan and evil and stuff like that, and the goat and the sheep is, you know, God's sheep, like you are God's sheep, he is your shepherd, you're, you know, part of his flock. No, be a fucking goat. You need to look up. You need to look up and see what is actually around you, and realize that you are always trapped. You are always going to be trapped if you don't fucking fling your ass out of whatever scenario you're in, if you are in fact unhappy, right? Our goats, they haven't gotten out at all, because they're very happy. They have basically 5 fucking acres. Yeah, they have the whole 5 acres actually to do whatever the fuck they want. They have more than enough food. They have complete agency over their life, and they live such a good life. But you bet your ass that, like, if I don't know, there was no grass in our fields, and, you know, we didn't give them their scoop of alfalfa at night, they would alley-oop off something over the fence and just go and find, you know, greener pastures. Sheep are just, you know, where they're at is where they're at. And that's just so bullshit. So I don't know, I just wanted to end with that, where it's like, I guess that kind of does tie in, where it's like, we are no longer sheep. We are no longer sheep. Oh my God, my fucking hair. We are no longer sheep, okay? We are now goats, okay? You have horns, you have the ability to jump, you have the ability to think, you have the ability to look up. So with that, good luck with that. I hope you find yourself in the greenest pastures very soon. Take care. Bye.